The older guy would go, oh, guess my cousin doesn't want to do that. He really wants to be like you. Maybe just like invest into a headset.
Noise cancelling input. Wow. That's crazy. Remove that. Okay, now let's see what's going on. Let's lower the dB a little bit so I can just about see what's going on. Okay, let's add that. Okay, so, well, that's probably a bit too loud. There we go. Okay, so now let's readjust all these inputs so it's just about the right amount. Yep, there we go. So we can recheck this controller here, which we've only got two screws in. 3 screws. We're just gonna reattach this. Now I finally have a working microphone plugged in. Okay, let's do this. And this one. Yeah, then we're gonna go over here and plug it back into the computer. Okay, so both shoulder buttons, start select. Okay, now let's up, down, left, right. They all seem to work fine now. Okay, that's controller number 3 done. Now, let's see what this red controller with absolute no nubbins, no rubber nubbins, rubber nubbers are gone. So, I have to plug this one in. We're gonna see what this one says. Oh, oh, is it gonna show up? Yep. So all the trigger buttons work. Up, down, left, right. Okay. Let's see if the touchpad works as a button. So does the PSM button. So this one might be the simplest fix of all and just need the thumbsticks repaired. So let's get this giant box here and I'm going to take out the Xbox One slash PS4 sticks. And yes, I'm going to use Xbox One sticks on a PS4. It's fine. So now we're just going to put those back in. Okay. This one might be done a lot faster than we expected it to be done. So should just be take apart. Oh, these screws are real stripped. Yeah, I'm gonna probably throw this one away. That screw can go in the garbage. Oh, this screw's real stripped too. I am thinking that this is the reason they got rid of this controller. All the screws were stripped. Okay, now let's just take this off. And here comes the battery, just not even adhesived in, just falls out on the ground. And we're gonna pull this out. I'm gonna take my Apple Watch off. So let's see. Okay, let's take this out. Oh man, this is really gonna be jam-a-lam it in there. What is? Oh, I see. kind of tucked around on the corner. This is different to all the rest. And what's stopping you coming out? Nothing. Nothing. Now. So then we're going to pull this out. And then I am going to hold the plastic and just push the PCB. This kind of stuck. Okay. There we go. Then we're just going to get a Q-tip. I'm just going to clean across the pins. So when we reassemble it, they still work. Okay, we're going to pull these off and put them in the trash. And then we can look and get our other one that fell on the floor. Zoom in a little bit just so you don't have to see as much garbage. Man, look at all this hair and grime. Look at all that. Pretty nasty. Well, now I took the inside out, not meaning to, but I'm gonna just get this toothbrush and go around and hopefully get most of that hair and nastiness off of it. Okay, so now I'm gonna stick these thumb caps on. They're a pretty tight fit because they're designed for the Xbox controller, or just that they don't slip off. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is get it over the hump right here, and we're gonna get these and it pretty much back on itself. We're gonna have to get this in there and thread the touchpad wire through, but sometimes it likes to just flail around and just drop in wherever it gets the chance to. See, it's still tucked underneath. Well, let's get it in position and then shove it too much the other way now. Yes, there we go. Okay. Now we're gonna stick this piece back so it lines up with the buttons, all the pads. Gonna get one of our screws. Should be all the same. Screw this in right into here. Make sure it's in there. Bit jiggly buttons. Yep, we're just gonna. Okay, now, well, it would help if we put the battery in there. Flip it over. Put it in there. Get this end. Hopefully not destroy this end like we did on the last controller. Okay, there we go. So now I'm just gonna roughly place it back together, and I've never seen one that had that weird bit at the top so long and big. Okay, so now we're gonna reconnect it. Okay. Bumpers, triggers, all of those. Left, right, down. Yep. So this should be controller number 4, which is done. Which wasn't that much of a difficult controller, I didn't think. Only 5 more to go. So we have 5 more massive controllers that need to be put together. Okay, let's get all of those in. Get all those in. And that should be the last one. Okay, now let's make sure it feels okay. So the light, bumpers, all feels good. It's got slight damage right there. Maybe you can see it in the camera, maybe you can't. But that's controller number 4. And then to confuse, nah, it won't work on the other red controller. We're gonna work on the gold controller. Okay, now let's plug this in and see what the issue with this controller is. Apparently nothing, because the controller. Oh, there we go. Does it go up and down, left and right, up, down? Okay, start and select work, power button works, D-pad works. Shoulders still work. Well, oh, is that what the problem with this controller is? Yep, it's the USB port. So what we're gonna do on this one is we're gonna use our donor one that's over there, and we're just gonna replace the whole USB port on the back. So if I pull this off, then we can clean all these after slightly. I'm not gonna put them in the ultrasonic cleaner. Well, obviously I'd need them to be apart, but I'm not gonna take them all apart and ultrasonic cleaner them. Okay, so we're gonna disassemble this controller. Okay, so take this out. Okay, now we just need this PCB to get out of here. We're gonna drag up this side, and then we're gonna unscrew right here. This has the micro USB end. You can technically exchange the micro USB end if you really wanted to, but I think that's just gonna be too much hassle. So let's try to pull up this, which took up the plastic bit, but this is trash. This, if it doesn't connect, is basically as good as trash. Yeah, wow, you actually made it, Zachary. And you get to watch me destroy 9 PS4 controllers that I just need to take apart and pull all the parts and then look for controllers for the next 25 minutes. Okay, now let's take this Type-C out of this controller. Micro, sorry, because we're so pro that we're not going to replace the port itself, we're just going to replace the mini PCB that's in the back of them. Oh, will it even go? Yep. Hopefully this one doesn't have a disconnect issue now. Right now, here is the 4 I have done in this horrible little container. I've got to get 9 done before I can ship the order out that needs all 9. Whoop! And that's the end of that screw. Nah, it needs 9 before I can ship them all out. And I think I'm got 9 that I can actually do, but I'm not 100% sure. because I've got two of them with trigger issues, which normally is unrepairable unless you replace the actual the little piece of like flexible plastic, and those require a whole dismantle of the controller. Okay, so now reconnect this ribbon cable, which is the most pain in the ass cable there is on any controller, because Xbox actually knows how to design a controller, unfortunately. Okay, so now I'm going to put this back in here. Okay, so now it's back together. Let's retest it. Okay, now. Okay, shoulder buttons still work. Triggers still work. Analogs are okay. All face buttons, start and select. Touchpad works, and the PSM button works. And then, does it still drop out? It does, but I'm thinking it could just be my micro USB cable. Yeah, this is number 5. Number 5 of 1 million. Okay. Yep. Clean out the port solved it, so now it no longer disconnects. So we just switched out the PCB and threw the other one away for nothing. But there you go. That's what happens. And then after I get these 9 controllers finished, I have to basically wrap up all the controllers with micro USBs and put them in. And then I've got 9 PS4s that need to be wrapped up and shipped off. Okay, now let's see. Oh, the control's already dead. Which isn't anything new. Okay, now let's get a black controller. Okay, let's see what's wrong with this one. Okay. Oh, actually makes a sound on this one. And I don't know what that interface is. That is not no normal interface. Um, unknown gamepad. Is that the? Okay. Never had unknown gamepad before. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, I see one of the issues is the right trigger, which hopefully is just... Okay, so all the buttons work and the analogs seem to have the right circumference. So I need to fix this, which is just doesn't even hold down. And again, these screws are just stripped. Someone's just literally stripped them all to death. Which is great. Doesn't make it any harder to fix, I guess. Just makes it annoying. What do I do with everything? Unnecessary repairs? Man, this controller does not want to come apart. There we go. And off comes the button with it, I guess. These are one of the new controllers. Well, new look at this. Just right jammed in there. Doesn't want to even come out. Okay, we're gonna disconnect this. Where'd the spring go? Oh, it's over here. Look at this tiny little spring. Okay, now we're just gonna use the right trigger to See how it goes? And that is not the way that goes. Whoever put this controller together does not know how PS4 controllers work. Okay, there we go. That one now actually works instead of having the spring mashed into it. It actually has a place for the spring to go. Mash, mash, mash. Okay, so get this in. Whoop. In there. And then you can actually, if the, wow, it's almost as if you put the springs into the controllers, they actually function. Which is a strange concept to many. Kinda looks like a fake controller, but it says Sony on the battery, so I'm gonna go with it's a real one. Could be a different revision of the controller or whatever. Okay, there we go. Take that out. I'm gonna need to flip this motherboard to replace those thumbsticks again. Okay. We can take this out. I'm just gonna flip it on itself. Okay. Gonna get a new Q-tip. Okay. We don't need these anymore. Gonna need to get our PS5 caps. PS6 caps, more like, because we're gonna take the PS4 caps and we're gonna put Xbox One caps on them because they're the only ones you can actually find and replace them with. So it's gonna be what it is. Okay, stick these on there. Okay, now we cleaned off that connector already. We're gonna have to slowly drop this in there and pull this touchpad ribbon connector out. There we go. It went back in. Okay, now get this screw. Screw this PCB back down. Make sure it feels right. Yep. Use this battery. It's got the big fat end, so it's the one of the newer ones. Big fat controllers. Okay, now I have to do this not to affect the triggers, so we're gonna try to get the back of the triggers in. Then the front. Okay, now let's retest it before we screw 1,000 screws in and then figure out that we screwed up. Okay, so shoulder buttons still work. Triggers still go to 100. A, X, circle, triangle, square. All the D-pad buttons. Start and select. PSN. Touchpad works. Yep. That should be number 6. Number 1, 2, 6. Siete, whatever the Spanish word for 6s. Okay. That's another controller done. Now, we've got a total of 6 controllers. that are done, and we only have potentially 3 more to work on. So I hope I can get them all to work and actually function properly. Because next we got another red controller. That's going to be so great. It's not going to confuse anybody because it's red, and we've already worked on another red controller. Okay, let's see what's wrong with this one. Oh, some crunchy button, and that is a lot of stick drift. Okay, so up, down, left, right looks fine. Okay, that is still so much stick drift. I get it. I get it. You wanna go up. So first we're gonna try to clean the potentiometer in the left stick. I don't know what this person's talking about, saying both sticks drift, because I just saw they didn't. Zachary's dying. Watch me take apart 100,000 controllers. Okay. Urgh. Ugh. Most glued down battery ever. May as well just super glue it down. Okay. If I remember, it's still the left battery. The left analog, sorry. Gonna need to take this out and then keep the PCB in there, hopefully. So it should be the left. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna get a little pair of tweezers in there. We're gonna pull this left potentiometer open. There we go. And then if we take out the swiper, which is this little doodad, make sure it's clean, and then we're gonna dip it into someone must have big meaty claws. Yep. Okay, now, hopefully by cleaning that one, this swiper can go back in and I don't have to swipe. Whoa. Well, I'll be answering questions about how I broke this controller when I shook and I threw the swiper across the room. Okay, now we're gonna make sure this is back on this little red rider so it has its little home. RAP camera. Probably overheating camera. Let's see if she comes back. Let's see if we lost top-down camera completely now. Whoa. There we go. Let's see if she comes back. Yep. There we go. We're back for the next 10 minutes until the camera decides to die again, even though it has a dummy battery in it. Yeah. Stick this in. Actually, I did forget to clean the start button because it was a little temperamental on this controller. So what I'm going to do is flip. I'm going to get a little bit on my own toothbrush. Clean my teeth with it tonight, I guess. gonna put a little bit IPA on each and then just wipe it off. Hopefully, when I reassemble it and keep on pressing that button, it will work its way into the button itself and not need a full disassembly of that button. Bro, it's fine. It's just extra taste on my toothbrush. It's even good when it has other people's hair on the controller too. Well, make sure I put the battery back in. Reassemble the controller without the battery and then just disassemble the controller again. That's how progress is made. Do 360. I don't know. Roaches are crunchy. They might taste good. Look at all this. Look at all the grossness around the edge. If I can use my tweezers and get all that off. Mmm. Crunchy Gamer Flakes. That's what that is. I'm gonna create a new cereal called Crunchy Gamer Flakes. And they're only for gamers. Crunchy Gamer Flakes. It's gonna use all the crust that I removed from controllers. Oh, it's green now. I don't think that's a good sign. I don't think green and red are good controller. Um, that's that's potentially the issue. Having half the ribbon cable plugged and half the ribbon cable unplugged is maybe not the controller's designed forte. Okay, now let's put it back in and then. Okay, now let's replug it in again. Okay, and let's see if it connects. Oh, X, square, triangle, circle. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There we go. Okay, all the face buttons work. Up, down, left, right work. Start select work. Okay, so those work too. Okay, so we're gonna go and we're gonna do a recalibration on this controller. Oh yeah, we understand. We understand. Ooh, ooh. Okay, so top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Ooh. Save changes permanently. That does not look good, but maybe if we work it out of the stick, it will work better. Okay, well, we can go back to this and we can see what it does. Well, now it's controller 2. So I think that if I just keep just need the IPA worked around. Ooh. Maybe it's gonna need a stick replacement, which is not gonna be fun. Well, maybe if we leave it to one side for now, we pretend that it's not gonna need a stick replacement, and then we can try this blue controller. Okay, so it looks to me as if maybe if we clean the board off, it will stop that weird. Okay, so it doesn't have any screws in it, which sucks because I need to find some for it. Ow! I pinch my skin inside of this controller. Okay, so it doesn't have anything else. So we're gonna remove this, and I'm gonna clean the connector cable that connects the front half to the second half of this. Man, okay. It does not look bad whatsoever. That's the bad thing with this controller. Now we're gonna clean this and see. It's a little dirty. Doesn't look too bad though. Can't remember if I already cleaned that part, but let's reassemble it and we can test it again. See what it actually does. Got this. Fixing the controller because there's nothing behind it. This battery in there and why it around this little hook. Whoop. Okay, now let's try to put this controller back together and let's see if it even works. Oh, well. Okay, now let's plug this controller back in and let's see if it's going to work again. Okay, so it's still the RT doesn't work, and unfortunately, that's going to be a no fix for that controller. Okay, so the left trigger doesn't work on this controller. Let's see if that's gonna be a fixable problem. And somehow it's trying to remove the whole trigger with it. So that's probably part of the problem. Which is great. Just Holding on. Finally, it let go. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if I remove that spring there, and then I can clean off the pad and watched stuff under the desk fold to death. And push the little nub back in. Okay, now let's retest this controller. I can put the stick back in the right way. Plug it in. Let's see what happens. Okay. Probably shouldn't put the back on it, but I'm gonna. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. Now it's working again. Back together. Ooh. So the LT works now. The RT that doesn't work. Maybe if I clean the RT out a little bit. Oop, 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 boop, 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 boop. Okay, so pull this off. Clean it here. Put this over the top. Pick up this stupid thing. Oop, dropping everything. Can't even pick up a spring. Okay, now let's line it up. Drop it in there. Okay, now that feels like it's gonna press down properly. Again. Okay, that one's in there. And then we're gonna put the back of it on. I'm gonna try to align the back perfectly. So when the battery flops out the bottom, I guess. I get them over these humps. Ooh, I hope that I didn't push that RB. Okay, well it feels okay. Now let's see if it's gonna work. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Now every time we press it goes to 98, 100. Oh, okay, that's another working controller. So now we have 7 working controllers. I got one concurrent viewer. Woohoo! Yep. Keep on going. Gonna clean this start button. Okay, now let's retest this controller for the third time and let's see what happens. Okay, so, okay, yeah. Now let's test this controller again. The red stick drift of doom controller. Okay. I am just gonna replace it. I'm gonna just replace the left stick. Okay. So, let's pull out all this garbage. This left stick here is gonna come out. Nope, this left stick. The actual left stick, not the right stick. I'm gonna wait for this to heat up. While that happens, I'm gonna add flux to the joint. Add low melt solder to the stick itself, so when I use my desoldering gun, it will just pull. It will lower the melting temperature of the unloaded from the factory. Whoop, stuck there for a second. Doesn't matter that it's bridged because I'm just gonna desolder it, but nice if it wasn't. Okay, now we're just gonna wait until this other one is gonna be done. Just gonna wait till the desoldering gun heats up. Well, that happens. I can probably just pull out a new stick. Make sure all the pins are aligned. So I don't end up dragging them around at weird angles. Okay. Re-add some fresh flux. All the flux as possible, I guess. wait for about 2 or 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Because then it clears out the whole little jiggle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Didn't get all of that, but hopefully. I'm gonna do this. Okay, so I got 2 more that I have to like retouch up and actually dismantle properly because this one is still pretty attached. So is this one here. So I'm going to retin all 3 and see if I can pull it out without it being. Yep, that one came out. Okay, now let's see if I can get that analog stick out without affecting anything else to do with the stick. Should just come pretty easily. Whoops. That's me being too forceful for that. There we go. That's a bit of an inconvenience. Break that off. Well, maybe I can just put it in there after, and then it will work. But for right now, I'm going to throw this analog stick in there. And I'm going to tack it down at its anchor points, which are both corners. There we go. Now, we can hopefully reassemble most of this controller and all the stick drift in the left stick will be gone. Okay, now I have to reattach this somehow. Ow. Don't do that. I thought it was on there for a second. There we go. And hopefully I can just bend it a tiny bit and it won't come back off. Well, looks like that risk paid off because it's still attached there. Now I can just drop this in. Gonna quickly try and regain this. Way. There we go. There's that. And we can get this if we can figure out the orientation of it. And put it in. Oh, and there goes my camera again. So let's quickly go and hopefully it comes back. Let's see. Yep, there we go. Now gonna get this controller and gonna get this plugged in. Now we're gonna get the end of this. Move this out of the way so we don't burn the soldering iron to death. Okay, now it's probably gonna look a bit crazy because I expect the left stick is gonna be off. Oh, well, it's actually not. There we go. Yep, there we go. There's another working controller. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. One more control, one more button and screw in this controller, and then that brings us to 2, 4, 6, 8 controllers. 8 controllers. Okay, so now we've got 8 controllers. We're gonna have to work on the infamous blue controller again and see if we can fix it because I don't have another controller. Okay, what was wrong with this one again? I don't quite understand why this controller doesn't like the RB but the okay. I'm gonna try take this off. Then I'm gonna try and remove this, and I'm gonna try to score it to see if it does anything to help this controller to work again. Then after we've done this, we're gonna see if this controller is gonna work again. Let's re-put this back into here, like smash it in there. Okay, because all the other buttons work and there's no stick drift on this one. Okay, so that works still. Then we're gonna place it down like that. Okay, so it's still pretty good. So I'm gonna realign this one again. Okay, now I'm gonna reconnect this ribbon cable. Okay, so put this back in. Okay, okay, this is back in. And now let's retest it again to see. Okay, nope, it's still that right trigger. Now it doesn't show up whatsoever. Oh, oh, on, oh. Now like half worked. So okay, so I wouldn't say that's why does it do that? Maybe if I can find a different pad from the controller, like one of the pads for the triggers. If I take one from this controller here, I pull it out, and then I use it to fix that ninth controller. Maybe it's the right trigger again. Pull it apart. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Let's push this out. Now I'm going to pull this one out. Slide this in. Okay. So that presses still. I'd hope. Okay. Now we've got another rubber membrane in this one. And some gamer cheese on the other side of this controller too. Now we're gonna get this little light beam shell thing. Okay, now let's try again to see if this is gonna let me. Okay, so no, the RT will not. The R, yeah, right trigger will not work properly. Hmm. Okay, now it works again, like intermittently, but why does this controller work intermittently? I have a feeling it's not to do with the controller. I have, well, the controller itself, but I have a feeling it's something to do with that cable again. Because this is the last controller I need to fix. I have a feeling that this just doesn't make contact properly, which is just strange. Strange, strange, strange. So let's clean them off again. Okay, let's look at all of these and see. I don't want to use anything that I don't have to on this controller because if I do, then really careful with this ribbon connector right here. The last time we're going to test this controller, I say, but it probably won't be because I cannot, for the life of me, understand why this one keeps on. The right trigger does not like to work. Okay, so let's back together again. Reconnect the battery again. Put battery into hell shells again. Reconnect ribbon cable to USB again. Okay, push it in. Okay, but this doesn't work. Oh, there we go. We've got full. Yes. Okay, let's fully working now. Yep. On off, on off, on off, on off, on off. Okay, that is amazing. I'm gonna look through this box of screws and then to see if I can find a screw that I can then. This is, this is screw number 2. This is screw number 3. So that's those, and then what I'm going to try to do is a little bonus. I'm going to try to fix a 5th controller, 10th controller, sorry. Okay, let's put this. Okay, so that's that. Let's try the trick that worked just now, because this controller was just a parts control of that. I just have laying around, so I'll see if I can fix this controller, and then got a very small amount. Okay. On this side, we're just gonna. This is really not good for the controller, and I really don't recommend it, but if it's the only way to bring a controller back, then fortunately, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, just wipe it across. Okay, now I'm gonna try to find a second motor for this controller, which is gonna come from this PCB. We're gonna have to give this all our might to take this motor out. Okay. Slide this up. Then we're gonna get some Xbox caps that I am now running out of because we've repaired 9 today. So probably need to order some of those. Okay. And now we're gonna push this to this. Okay, so now we're gonna solder this. And so the left and the right side are opposites on the rumbles. And I don't know why Sony decided to do that, which is quite annoying because if you didn't know, it's very easy to do them backwards. Which I guess would be okay, but what would reverse vibration get you? So we want this to be up. And all it wants to do is fall down. Okay. So I'm gonna reattach this. Yep, number 10. So I have no idea if this control is gonna work. We are going to slide this out right here and put this one for the other controller. Okay. So now we're gonna have to pull this trigger out. We're gonna have to find L2. L2. Yep, right here. I have to put this one in there. I have to make sure that it fits down inside the robot. Okay. So there's one battery, one back piece. Now let's try to find some screws. So here's another screw. We can screw it in. Okay, so now put it right here. I'm gonna flip this and push it in. Okay, so this needs a new ribbon cable. Which I guess I can find if I looked. Ah, okay, that goes in there. Now we have to find this little screw. Trying to find the screw that fits it. Let's see if this screw will work right here. Yep, that looks like a fit to me. And no damage on either side. Because I still need a test controller. My test controller is going to be red. Gonna get me a red controller if it tests right. Well, even if it doesn't, at least I have a fully assembled controller they can plug in and just see if a PlayStation will recognize the controller and do firmware updates. Well, I plugged that in a bit prematurely, but hopefully let's try to do front assembly. Uh, Okay. Now, 10th controller. Does she work? Does she break? I guess every button works apart from that button. Which would be totally fine to use as a test controller. So this one would be totally fine just to test and plug into consoles. Okay, now the double count to make sure I actually have 9 controllers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 controllers. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna basically roughly clean them off, and we're gonna use some window cleaner just to clean them all off, and a little toothbrush just to wipe them down. Okay. Number 10. Well, number 2 technically, because I'm not gonna clean number 10. Okay, let's number 3. Number 4. Okay, now let's clean this one. Gotta get rid of this. Okay. Whoop. We need a little bit more. That's 5. That's number 6. Okay, now let's get number 6. Okay. We get it back. Okay. Let's claim this controller. The white controller that you can see all the dirt and gamer juice on. Okay. Let's go to table for now. That was 8. This one's number 9. See if I can get all this white paint off. Whatever it is. Well, looks like it's pretty much just coming off. There we go. There's one. Okay, so we can get this blue off. Come off, blue. Yep. And then the last one, the camo controller. There we go. Didn't even have any IPA on it that time. Okay, now gotta get all these controllers wrapped up. Let's go get some tape and I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay, so we gotta get all these controls wrapped up. Okay, there's one. That's number two. Number two. gonna be number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Okay, so number 6. Whoops. Okay, now we're gonna have to get. Okay. Ugh, my brain is getting fried. That's number 7. That's 8. Last one makes 9. Okay, now I have to go get the PlayStation 4s themselves.